Namaste, angels. This will be a half-hour client reading. My first time reading for this young lady. I don't know anything about her. I asked at the time of purchase, and actually, I wanted to do her reading that day. I don't even remember what happened, but I wasn't meant to, so it doesn't really matter what happened anyway. But I had asked her at the time, if there was anything she wanted me to know, not that it was required, and she said, "No, ma'am." I remember that part. Like whatever the universe wanted her to know, basically. So that's what we're doing, beginning with the energy of the goddess, which is all about not only the moon, and can be showing up here because of the full moon in Aquarius or because the new moon in Leo to come, and or the need to surrender. The moon represents feminine energy, and then a step further, as far as I'm concerned, feminine energy of surrender. And opening to golden path. When this card shows up, it lets us know that we are on the right path, and that we are to continue down it. This golden path card reminds me very much of the Wizard of Oz, as does a lot of the journey. We have these rainbows here, and anybody who remembers the movie or the Wizard of Oz or the Wiz, or even the play, one of the theme songs, of course, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And the purpose of having gone down the yellow brick road was to reach the Emerald City. And I just feel that we're all trying to reach the Emerald Ray, the ray of healing. That's from where one of my oldest incarnations hails. Something that I had come into knowing about, and then back in 2015, maybe 2016, late 2016, I had it wasn't a reading. Well, I guess it kind of was a reading, or included like Akashic Records reading. And I'm not sure that the person ever necessarily did any other readings, right? Because subsequently, I began to see things about her that weren't necessarily on the up and up. But that day, the universe meant for her to confirm some stuff for me, and she did. So that being one of them, the Emerald Ray, the Ray of Healing. And that's what we're all trying to get to. And at the end, it's like Archangel Michael and Raphael, maybe even Chamuel. It could be Jesus, Ascended Master is there. Waiting to cheer us all on that we've reached the end. Although healing ultimately, overall is kind of never really over. Because like if you stopped growing, which is basically what healing is, like why are you here? There's nothing else for us to do here once we stop learning and growing. So anyway, opening out to reflection, which is pretty straightforward. It is about the need to look back and at our past and make sure that whatever we needed to bring with us from it, we have, or whatever we should have let go, we have also. And if we haven't, that we're making preparation now to get rid of it. And as we look toward our future and our goals. Opposite the surrender card, there can be a need to surrender and finally let go something onto which you've been holding that you shouldn't be anymore. This would be guiding you now to finally let it go. And opening to creativity, which is also pretty straightforward, but it's all, like to get more specific, it's about the need to come up with creative ways that we can pursue our passions and go about creating abundance for ourselves, whether it's abundance of love, money, material, combinations of those, representative of fire signs. I actually saw a lot of fire when I was shuffling for you. Fire and earth is what I saw most of. This is representative of fire signs with these fire red wings this angel has, but also air, specifically Aquarius. And it could be very representative right now of, let's say, Mars, the red planet, a ruler of fire sign Aries, in Aquarius, right? It's retrograde in Aquarius right now, at present. Also representative of water signs, and most specifically of those, Pisces. But it can be, any. Here's another reason why Aquarius comes up for me. This being is a water bearer and standing in a pool. So water, air. I'm sorry, water. Yeah, water, air, fire. The goddess. And here's the earth that we talked about. This card connected to the energy of Venus for me also. Well, she is ruler of air signs Libra and Gemini, and then earth sign Taurus. This week she enters earth sign Virgo, where she'll be for about a month. This is about the need to spend some time with Mother Nature, or in nature, outside, like, getting grounded and communing with nature, as they say. If there's anything, if you live in an area that's like at all conducive to doing some of the things that you might otherwise do inside, doing them outside, maybe listening to music or reading or whatever. It helps to open up the flow of abundance. The goddess. And heaven on earth, also indicative of air and fire and maybe even earth. Although we don't see any greenery here, but from where do flowers grow, and the card, and it bears the name Earth as well. When this card shows up, sort of like what I was talking about with the reflection card and the need to let go of things, it means that there's something from our past onto which we're holding, and because we're taking up space with it, we're not being given our new, more appropriate abundance, with what we would align now in our present and going toward our future, what better matches our vibration and is meant for us and is far more grand than, what we had in the past. We can't get it until we vacate the space for it. That's what the Heaven on Earth card is about. It's like if you want to live heaven on earth, you want to experience it now, have all these wonderful things, receive your blessings, let go of the other stuff. And that might be why the surrender or the goddess card is still here, because all of these things have been connected to the need to surrender. Goddess on the cuts. And tantric union. It can be a very physical card about, getting together and sort of what it looks like. But it goes way deeper than that. Like when the tantric union card pops up for me, it's very much connected to the energy of ascended relationships, ascended beings, 5D, as they say. Telepathic communication, nonverbal communication. Even when we're together and each other's present, like the need to not use actual words and all of that. And the overall energy is expectancy, which similarly means that we are blocking our own blessings. In this case, not necessarily by holding on to something, either physically or emotionally, but sort of trying to dictate the universe's movements and timing, and not surrendering to the fact that there's a larger energy at play. Yes, we have free will, and we have some say in what we do, have some choice, but there's also a larger energy at play and divine timing, and that things aren't going to happen until they're meant. And they're only going to happen how they're meant and with whom they're meant, and that, those things aren't up to us. Divine Feminine, the masculine about the feminine, about himself and the union as a whole. Overall, what the masculine would have the feminine do toward the union. What he himself is willing to. What the universe would have the two do and would love to help them with and will help them with. And the outcome. Divine Feminine, enchantment. So more of these rainbow colors and the need to surrender. You see this woman, she's all scarred, she's all You can see on her face, her neck. That doesn't stop her from letting go and letting the universe to allowing it to heal her. She's nude, right? Her breasts are here bare. Her head's tilted back. Her eyes are closed. And she's just letting Venus and Mars come through and all these other energies and auras, right? Come through and work through her and with her and for her, restoring her health. All this green around. Remember the emerald ray, the ray of healing? That's the green ray. The masculine about the feminine, or as it relates to the feminine. Wow, very nice. Moon tree. Well, moon tree is a card of sacred marriage. In addition to having to, to showing up often because of, again, the moon energy and the need to surrender. But it's a card of sacred marriage. That's what the moon tree card represents in this deck. And also like the connections to the divine too, like the marriage of heaven and earth that's going on around us as well. All of that tied in with the moon tree. The masculine about himself, physical body. Maybe he's the fire sign now, the fire I kept picking up before. Just when I was sitting here shuffling and stuff. I feel that this can be sort of literal. And that there is something connected to physical body. Maybe weight. Now, I'm not saying he's necessarily overweight, but I'm saying he wants to work on like exercise is what I'm feeling. He may also really be connecting with the sun. I know that makes sense. Like a desire to like draw on the sun's energy, if that does make any sense. I'm trying to explain what I'm seeing. It is also connected to fire signs. Doesn't mean that he is the fire sign. It could be you too, but still. The masculine as relates to the union as a whole. His feelings about the union as a whole. Ah, boom. How sweet for you. I love when this kind of thing pops up, especially in like strategic placements. Drawing on the masculine's higher self here, specifically yours. Overall, retreat. So here's the earth energy. I'm still being sort of followed by fire and earth. And air, again, too. Again, more of this Aquarius, or perhaps Venus. This card very representative of Venus, too. Again, Venus, ruler of Libra, Gemini, Taurus, entering Virgo this week. But it could be any of the air signs, any of the earth signs to which this energy is connecting. And it is about the need, very much like this being here, to spend some time in nature. And even meditating, if you will. It doesn't mean you have to be, sit down with prayer hands in Indian style. You don't have to do any of that. We can meditate by, sitting on a park bench or going for a walk or whatever it is we enjoy doing that allows us to find some sort of peace and center and connection to, the higher source. That's meditating. What would the masculine have you do, toward this union? Like, what are his feelings right now on what your part is, what your job is? Golden memories. You got some stuff to let go of, which we've seen a few times come up this far. There's some stuff of which you need to drop. Rid yourself of it. You cannot take it with you down that path, that golden path that we saw before. You cannot take it with you. You have to lighten your load before going. And that's what this card is about. Only taking like the positive lessons, experience, happy golden memories. and leaving all the other stuff that may have come with it, any pain, regret, resentment, fear, pride, ego, you know, like leaving all that stuff behind. What is the masculine willing to do toward the union here? Birth. So like also from himself, like let some things go. And that could be connected to this too, with this sun, like letting aspects of himself dissipate and sort of be born anew with this. This card tends to bring up the energy of the sign of Scorpio, very specifically for me. Somebody can have some Scorpio in their chart, but they do not have to. It's not a requirement. What would the universe have the two do? And, you know, like what would the universe like to help you with? Message from afar. So perhaps you've had some trouble connecting. The universe, very happy to facilitate that, but sort of you have to put the energy out there. He has to put the energy out there, and it will help you better communicate. It can be sort of literal and long distance messages and contact, even travel. And this is also about enlightenment and, you know, the message from afar coming from the universe to either or both of you. And again, representative of fire signs. And the outcome. Golden path, remaining on course, you know, toward the continued healing and growth. You've definitely got some stuff to let go of, because we saw like 3 different cards that were trying to illustrate that to us. So this spread being from the perspective of the universe, a similar spread, but from the perspective of the universe rather than the masculine, beginning with destiny and opening to communication. So that's probably connected to that message from afar energy. Which again may have something to do with Mars and or Aquarius. All the air signs are, you know, the signs of communication. Aquarius is ruled by, or is the ruler of technology. So it can definitely be like texting and email and, you know, like online dating, like that kind of stuff. It's electronic communication, telepathy. But, you know, it can be anything, any kind of communication. As far as talking, again, the other air signs come in. Venus in Libra this week, very loving, very fair, very balanced, communication, diplomatic, hearing one another out. Gemini, the quote-unquote Gemini, Gemini, and I'm a Gemini, so I don't know what that Gemini was. Gemini, the quote-unquote great communicator of the zodiac. So there's definitely going to be some sort of messages back and forth here. But again, Mars, fire, ruler of fire sign Aries, and fire planet, red planet Mars, currently retrograde in Aquarius. And opening to past life. Yep. Past life and courting man. Very nice. That can be either one of you. That's not necessarily the masculine. Can be from, you know, either one. Opening to passion. Some more of this fire element and the need to pursue one's passions, including, you know, the other party. Opposite past life, indicative that, you know, this is going on a long time. Not necessarily only this lifetime. Passion. And, oh, okay. Well, this, second time I've seen him today, although I haven't seen him in some time, but this is the representation in this particular deck for me of the divine masculine. So he's showing up, and also friendship. But you see this friendship, this friend's hand here, has like a wedding band on it. I mean, that's always indicative of the friendship is the foundation, and then, you know, it grows to something far stronger. Passion. And we need genuine and solid foundations on which to build these relationships, or relationships in general. So very special and blessed when friendship shows up. And speaking of Venus, Ice Queen. So this representative of air signs, absolutely. Libra, Gemini, can even be Aquarius. And right now she's here with this, with a cat. It's a big cat. It's a tiger. Mercury, which is like a masculine energy, but can still be showing up here, currently retrograde as well in Leo. So we can be getting some of that too. Very nice overall energy. This fun times. Divine couple, recent past, masculine's higher self, near future, blocks to the union, what the feminine can do, what the masculine can do, further advice to the two from the universe and what the universe is willing to, would like to help them with, and the outcome. Divine couple, karma. So currently both likely dealing with what would be considered karmic lessons. Not necessarily bad. They're definitely conducive to the path and to the union, but they could keep you apart in the meantime. Even if it's just temporary and from time to time, like typically when we're dealing with these issues, we like pull away, we withdraw, and just need this that time for ourselves. Causes periods of separation. The recent past. Communication. Okay, so this may have taken place already, this communication between the two of you. And if not, it is still coming. It was initiated, again, probably by the full moon in Aquarius. The near future. True Gem. The Gemini that I mentioned before. True Gem, about like value, recognizing one's value and worth and the value of the union, the relationship, the connection, the importance of maintaining it and, letting go of those things that like hold us back from pursuing our passions, including one another. True Gem can be connected to the energy of a Gemini. It can be connected to the energy of Venus, one of Gemini's rulers. It can be connected to the energy of Mercury, Gemini's ruler, or, all of the above combinations of those. The masculine higher self, dating. And this full moon, so again, this may have connected something, and it's crossing karma, so it might include, dating another party too. And we'll see if there's any. I'm not wishing it here, but we'll see if anything else, possibly connected to like some sort of party of three, comes up. What the feminine can do here. So I don't know if you've ever seen me pull this card before, but. For the most part, as it relates to signs, zodiac signs for me, it is connected to Capricorn, which is very karmic, and the planet Saturn, which rules Capricorn, very much about karma and being forced to work through these lessons. And also right now, that planet Saturn currently retrograde in Capricorn, which it rules, forcing us all to work through some of these things. This wallflower person tends to come through as a Capricorn, but also as a Gemini, quite often, and a Scorpio. And the reason those three signs is because those are the ones more often than not that that people like them enough to invite them out to the party for the fun times. And You know, they're down and cool enough to go, but won't necessarily engage once there. And so she's being given a choice to exercise her free will. And I talk a lot about this in the weekly general and love reading this week, which I recorded a few days ago. And you'll see, I guess, shortly, another day or two. It's this, that is a country song, and I've been blocked. I got to look it up because I've been blocked today as to what the woman's name is who sings it. But very plainly, you know, she says, if you get the choice to sit it out like this or to dance, I hope you dance. Like, I hope that you will be a willing participant in life and not let life and an opportunity pass you by. And that's what's going on here. That's what you, when it says, what can the feminine do? Not this. You can get up and dance is what you can do when presented with the opportunity. What about the masculine? True love. True love sitting here next to true gem. It's the genuineness, right? And the value. He can have like respect and appreciation for the value, including his own, right? The deservingness, the worthiness, and the worth of the other party and the worth of the union. But his own deservingness, his own worthiness to even have love and, in fact, true love. Because we forget that a lot of the time, or we don't believe it of ourselves that we even deserve to have anything. Blocks to the union, spiritual growth. So it's mirroring the karma. And again, like I said, karma is not necessarily bad. It's just things that we have to go through, lessons that can cause us to be withdrawn and pulled away from each other, and even, you know, go into actual, you know, quote unquote separation. And it looks like that's the cause here. So not necessarily a party of three, but you know, just the need to tend to one's own destiny, you know, as guided by the universe right now. What, speaking of the universe, will the universe have the two of you to work on, do right now, and it is willing to help you with, would like to help you with the foundation part. The foundation part, the friendship. So maybe by initiating contact or being open to receiving contact is how we can work on that communication. Continued communication, true communication, genuine, open, honest, from a place of love, and the outcome. Courting man, very nice. Goes really well with dating. So that might be in you guys' future. It looks like it is. Fun times ahead for you. And I actually picked up 2 cards by accident. I didn't mean to pick up Ice King as well. There he is. And underneath him was revealed union. Got a couple minutes left. I'll probably go over slightly. That's all right. I'm going to go to the Angel Tarot, beginning with the 10 of Fire. Too much work. Accept help from others. Life is out of balance, and that leads to stress-related health concerns. You just have like a load that you're carrying, right? You're bearing a load, and it's because of this old crap that you're holding on to that you really need to let go of. There are options and choices, and free will is involved, and you're being guided to decide what it is you truly want so that you can start working toward your future, your goals. A complex decision, the need to do research. Stop procrastinating. Seven of Water and the Dreamer with Archangel Metatron, which represents the planet Mercury for me. Again, ruler of Gemini and Virgo. A leap of faith. Follow your dreams. That leads to unexpected opportunities. Dreamer is the Fool in the traditional tarot. It's all about walking a brand new path. So maybe you have options on the different paths that you can walk, or whether or not to walk the path, and you got to choose. I'll go one more. Oh, excuse me. Opening 2, life experience, major arcana card number 16, the Tower. A significant life event, a powerful revelation that leads to change. It's time to spread your wings. So now you got 2 7s here. This is a 7, right? 16 equals 7. And the 7 opposite the 7 of Water. And actually they're both sevens of water from my perspective, because life experience or the tower tends to represent the energy of the sign of Scorpio for me. It's very similar to the death and rebirth, because something just gets completely wiped out and something new starts. I don't know if you ever heard of the god Shiva, the destroyer. He comes in, he destroys. He comes in and knocks everything down so that it can be rebuilt. Or in Supreme Math, the Nation of Gods and Earths, the Islamic sect, they Supreme Math is, well, I won't go into explaining what Supreme Math is, but in Supreme Math, the number 8 is representative of what's called build, destroy, and it's a similar thing. Like if you're not helping to build, if you're not contributing, then you're destroying, you're breaking down. But in both cases, like we need to scrap that and start all over. So it's that sort of thing. That's what the tower is. This can also be like you come into some sort of revelation, it's like, like a huge aha moment, a giant one, and they, you start to do things, something differently that really basically turns your whole life around. That's what the tower is. It's like a sudden, complete change, a sudden, complete turnaround. So a lot of people see the tower and they go like, oh no, the tower is so horrible. To me, it's not. It can go either way. And I often see it as a really, really good thing. Life experience, and it's another 7. 7s in themselves can be connected to fortune, definitely spirituality, the divine, God. Again, in Supreme Math, 7 is God. That's what it means. In the tarot, it's weird though. 7, or at least for me, 7 can be funky sometimes. But this particular 7, so like let's say you do have that aha moment or something else, something just comes like sweeping in unexpectedly that changes things for you and causes you to, or helps you to come to a decision. Remember the decision that showed up with the 7 of water? So it helps you to come to a decision, or you receive a decision, and that when that changes your mind and you decide to do something differently. The 7 of fire shows up to say, like, when you decide and you're sort of living by your own rules, stand your ground. Don't let nobody punk you. Like, show up and try to change your mind and make you do what they want you to do. It's more fire. The Queen of Fire is confident, warm, intelligent, and graceful. Stretch your wings and fly. Don't underestimate yourself. Assert your independence and creativity. So this is like connected to that 7 of fire energy too, right? Don't underestimate yourself. You got this. You don't have to let anybody walk over you. The Queen of Fire is a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, maybe a Scorpio, and is the quintessential divine feminine of the tarot, like whatever zodiac sign she is. The Queen of Fire represents the divine feminine. Crowning the masculine is the Knight of Air, intelligent, decisive, idealistic, and tireless. Events that occur with great speed. Take time to carefully review your options. You can come up with creative solutions. The Knight of Air is someone who has a decision to make, or he's awaiting one. It's one or the other. And again, that decision is going to cause something very, it's a very quick turnaround from there. He's a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Can also be here because of Mercury or Venus as well, since both of them so active this week or right now. Very nice. Masculine surrounded by the Ace of Earth, the inflow of abundance, a promising business venture, important documents or contracts. That can be about what he needs to decide, some sort of business venture, whether or not to enter some sort of contract or to accept a job or an opportunity. Connected to, it's something lucrative, not necessarily finances, could be the material too, could be an asset. of some sort. The Ace of Earth can be about new, relationships too, but usually connected to the things of the earthly. Masculine subconscious. It is the Knight of Fire, who's passionate, adventurous, self-assured, and restless. A sudden event that needs immediate attention. Time is of the essence, right? Immediate attention, decision right away that we have to make or that we're waiting to receive. Think things through carefully so that you know like what your next steps are, what helps you to figure out what you're going to do from there. Crowning the feminine, the Six of Fire, victory, good news is on its way. Public recognition or awards. Public recognition or awards can be some sort of accolades, maybe at your job, or it's where somebody gets to see the outcome for you. You triumph over something. Let's see if we can figure out what that is. Well, could be just over lack in general. Where you were lacking, all of a sudden, you are no longer. The Knight of Earth, who is loyal, dedicated, honorable, and kind, can change that all for you, right? Time to buckle down and get things done. Honor your commitments. You have a guardian angel. The Knight of Earth is a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or someone likened to those traits or attributes, or maybe coming through here because of, again, all the retrogrades involving Capricorn. Currently Saturn, which rules Capricorn, as well as Pluto, ruler of Scorpio. And as of this week, or is it next week? Very soon, near future, Mars currently retrograde in Aquarius, moving from Aquarius temporarily to Capricorn, and then back to Aquarius to finish out the retrograde. Crowning, the Eight of Fire. So this is about communication too. Also things going on behind the scenes that, like the universe handling some stuff for you too. Events are moving at a fast pace. Delays are over. Many things are happening at once. Things may have been moving slowly before because of the Knight of Earth energy that was involved. The Knight of Earth is this very slow and steady, wins the race sort of energy. Always gets the job done, reaches its goal. This card shows up. What's expected to happen as a result of it showing up does happen, so it's for the good, it's for the positive, but it takes time. We got to be patient. The Eight of Fire shows up to say, like, that part is done and things will be more expedient, especially sitting here next to the Knight of Air. At the root, Major Arcana card, Unity, or the High Priest, the Hierophant, which represents the sign of Taurus. Traditional viewpoints or methods, spiritual organizations, seek out mentors and like-minded friends. This again can have to do with some sort of authority, maybe even like a government entity or agency, higher institutions, college, contracts needing to be signed, relationships, commitment, marriage even. At the heart of, I didn't do the feminine subconscious, I'm sorry. It's the Five of Water. Womp womp. Maybe that's why I moved past. This is not one of my favorite cards. But we got two fives sitting here next to each other too. The Five of Water is not one of my favorite cards because it's very, I find it really like obnoxious, or it's an obnoxious kind of energy. It's like, oh, woe is me. This keeps happening to me and that happened to me. And, because we're worried about what happened here, like crying over spilled milk. And we're not counting our blessings. We're not being appreciative of what we do have, what is going for us, Yeah, I just don't like it. Things not turning out the way you'd hoped, not seeing the positive in a situation, and crying over spilled milk. So this card is here in the placement of subconscious. You don't have to allow this energy to get you down or to again, delay your blessings from you, keep you from them. You want to try to remain, if you feel yourself slipping into a place like this, remain in what we would call like an attitude of gratitude, and try to change to a more positive perspective, and think and speak positive things over your life and that of others, and that is how you will keep the flow of abundance coming. And that's how the law of attraction works. That's how manifestation works. At the heart of the matter, The Page of Air, who's logical, honest, impulsive, and curious, and quite often a Gemini, because it's the page, the more youthful of the element of air, but it can be any of the air signs, Libra, Aquarius. It doesn't have to be an air sign at all. It can be somebody likened to these traits or attributes. Challenging information, delays or changes to plans, and truth delivered without tact. Sitting here next to the Knight of Earth, again, something was probably very slow moving before, but it certainly picks up crossing the Knight of Air and sitting underneath the Eight of Fire. A Gemini may be involved, or an air sign in general, or an earth sign, or the planet Mercury, which rules both Gemini and Virgo, or the planet Venus, which rules both Taurus and Gemini and Libra. Or somebody may have combinations of those traits or elements in their chart, which is, moving this about. But both of you have very positive energy on its way to you, and abundance flowing to you. And, even though it may have been delayed in the past, don't allow that to have you slip into this place of pessimism, because that could, our free will and our thoughts and our words we speak over ourselves can, change this a little bit. Like, this is sort of like the forecast, and how we choose to navigate it plays a huge part. So, I hope that you will allow these blessings, these very beautiful blessings, to go ahead and flow to you rather than to be missed. From the romance angels to the masculine religious factors, your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. The Hierophant can be a card of tradition too. It could be a card of marriage, and this could be something like that going on. But the Hierophant is about tradition, and when this card shows up, it's like a need to be open to breaking with tradition and not allow it to hold you back. I haven't seen justice or judgment or anything, but the Ace of Earth crossing this Hierophant can also have something to do possibly with some sort of legality, and that could be what the decision is connected to too, or awaiting a decision in that regard, and maybe that results in some sort of settlement or new start for the masculine in one way or another. For you, from the romance angels, stay optimistic about your love life, okay, as opposed to this. This is not optimistic. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. From the Love Oracle, celebration, probably whenever this situation here is over, and that's probably the karmic lesson that he's dealing with too. It's something having to do with some sort of maybe large company, or again a government agency or something, or legality. But he will come out well, and that will be cause for celebration. For you, abundance. So similar to what we've already seen, victory here in this area, the Knight of Earth, things moving. That's what this is evident of as well. And it's abundance in all forms. It is not necessarily money or just money, material, love too. Also, again, connected to earth sign energy. The masculine twin flame. So, like I said, you've seen a lot of, or I've pulled a lot of beautiful cards for you guys here. There's just a need to work on, do some inner work, some healing stuff, to let go of things from your past. And I feel in large part that is on your side. And then with him, there's like things that he's dealing with that are sort of beyond his control, not necessarily that he's holding on to, but he's sort of, it's a matter of circumstance. It's just his circumstance, his karma, part of his destiny, something that he has to live through. But this remains regardless. For you, fair male, speaking of karma, this card representative of the karmic male energy for me. Also the sign of Capricorn in general, not as something negative against Capricorn, but it just feels sort of like the devil from the traditional tarot, which represents the sign of Capricorn as well. So maybe the masculine is a Capricorn, or somebody that's impactful upon you and or this union is a Capricorn. Maybe you yourself are, or have some heavy Capricorn in your chart, and or are affected by, again, the retrogrades, two of which are already happening and one in the very near future: Pluto, Saturn, and Mars. And lastly, from the Angel Tarot to the masculine, the Moon, major arcana card, the Moon, which represents the sign of Pisces or other water signs. Important psychic insights, events behind the scenes, release fears that hold you back. So again, there's a need to surrender and to let go of some things that are restraining us, that are keeping us imprisoned. We need to seek freedom. And that's what this period is about. Freedom and healing. Breaking away from old, like the constraint. People love to see the Hierophant, but it has that, I wouldn't say negative, but I guess that would be like the darker side of the energy of the Hierophant. It's like following somebody else's rules. So there's, trying to be traditional. So there's a need to break away from those things. And lastly for you, very nice, the Six of Water, memories from your history or childhood. Issues regarding children and maybe romanticizing the past. Well, the Six of Water can have to do with the need to deal with some things, face some things from our childhood and or past, or past lives even. And like face these things and address them now, and move beyond the lessons that they bring. And the Six of Water can also have to do with past life relationships or soulmate relationships, and often reunion in that regard, and people coming back from your past, exes returning and all that sort of thing too. So it tends to be a nice card. But this can also be like old friends, especially on a general spread like this, old friends and things that we get back together with for whatever reason, or an amount of time to complete some sort of karmic lesson as well. I hope that you find this helpful and that you enjoy it. And that you get the healing or work on the healing that you need. Do the meditation, release what you need to release, so that you again can, take advantage of all this really, really beautiful energy that surrounds you and the masculine and your union as a whole. Namaste, Angel.